tell me a little bit about the Van Life Network, and was there anything that was like a catalyst for you to start this new venture?
So the Fan Life Network is basically an online community where fan lifers can connect online, but we bring the connections offline using features of the community platform. And the reason why I start this, or yeah, let's say the moment I started this, we have to go back like let's say half a year. So last winter, I was basically living my dream life in my van with my motorhome, with my dog in the French Alps, snowboarding every day and working online on my YouTube channel and on my photo editing channel basically. And then my dad, he has been sick for quite a few years, but his health was really quickly declining. And so, in the middle of the winter season, I returned back home, and I fortunately had to spend like 5 last weeks with him and my family. So, we were very, very close together. And just before he passed away, I came out of the shower and I had this idea, came from my passion of van life, to start a van life community connecting van lifers on the road basically. My own van life journey has been quite a lonely one, or not necessarily lonely, but an isolated one, because I'm also an online entrepreneur and a van lifer. So these are quite two things that are, yeah, let's say out of the ordinary kind of. And so that's why I started it. And just before I passed away, I could share this idea with him and my family, and yeah, he couldn't really show his emotions anymore, but I knew how proud he was of the project.
What you've created is something that's like helping other people as well, like get out of the isolation and some of the loneliness that some people feel being on the road. So, like, you're like online and you're a van lifer. It's a little bit out of the ordinary. What are other van lifers doing to bring in income?
First thing, like living in a van isn't like living in a brick house. So you're already always on the road. You live on a home on wheels, which is obviously like the minority of people doing that. So in that way, you are living a weird life, let's say. Other than that, like I see quite many van lifers. Well, some have saved up a bunch of money and started traveling. Others do it temporarily, so it's just for holidays or weekends or whatever. And the full timers, some of them do seasonal work, but let's say, yeah, an offline job, let's say. And I don't meet so many people who are actually doing it online. So who are an entrepreneur or an online entrepreneur or a content creator or whatever. They seem to be out there a lot, and many of them because you see them on the internet, but in real life you don't really see them very, very often, to be honest.
Okay. And so your part of your community that you've built has helped like bring more people together and like bring more community, like not only online, but also in person. So like how does that work?
So I've launched a community on Skool, which is a relatively new platform. It's a community platform. And in Skool recently, so earlier this year, they launched a map feature. This map feature allows community owners and community members to see where other people who have enabled their map location to see where other members are. And so once you're in a community with other members, you can just, and especially when you're living on the road, you can kind of see where other people are. And from there, you can meet up in real, let's say. So it starts online. We start connecting online, and we do this through digital campfires, as we call them, which are basically Zoom calls through with our members. And from there, we connect. So we become friends, we have fun together. And from there, we actually take it offline using the map feature.
And I love that map feature. I didn't realize School had that now. I've been looking into School for community for myself, and I think that's really helpful. Like because all us digital nomads are spread out all over the globe, and so like tell us like if I'm working and living in a van, and I come to a digital campfire, like what is that about? Are you tired of trading your time for a paycheck and a job that drains your soul? What if I told you in as little as 30 days you could be working fully remote, whether that be a beach in Thailand or a mountainside cafe in Peru? Hi, I'm Ryan. I've been a digital nomad for over 8 years, working for 23 US states and 24 countries. Through my one-on-one coaching, I've helped countless people create a life of freedom through remote work. I've spent the past 9 months creating the ultimate step-by-step masterclass to help you go from being stuck in your 9 to 5 to fully remote. This isn't just a dream. This has worked for so many others, and it can work for you too. Please click the button below, get instant access to the masterclass, and start living the life of your dreams today.
So these digital campfires, we do them twice a week, and they started out as 2 hours per digital campfire, which is 4 hours in total per week. But because they are so much fun, now we have extended both of them to 4 hours each, which
Wow.
is crazy. But you can imagine, like, we have so much contact points during the week with each other that real friendships have been made. And these digital campfires, they don't really have any agenda. We don't teach anything. It's just hop on like a real campfire. You gather around the campfire, you have a chat. Some people walk away to grab a beer, or some people have to do whatever, and they can hop in whenever they want. And we just talk anything van life, or basically anything live. So our conversation oftentimes go to toilets, to showers, to solar panels, to batteries, power banks, or whatever. So there's no agenda. It's just hanging out with like-minded people.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's super important. And just having that community, I've been a part of many Facebook groups for boaters because I live on my sailboat and have done some traveling there. And a lot of like the Facebook groups are purely like, I need help fixing my water maker, or like this is broken, or does someone have a part for this? If you're in a part of in a country where it's hard to get parts for things. And yeah, I think it's super helpful, and like having that community is like super helpful to be successful and not feel isolated. But it sounds like with Skool, like you've taken it to another level.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing that is a big difference between, let's say, Facebook groups and School, like there's humongous Facebook groups around fan life. So there's fan life groups with like hundreds of thousands of people, like maybe 500,000 of people or whatever. But there's almost zero connection. Like it is what you just mentioned. Like it's, if you need something, if you need help, or if you need information, it's basically a forum. So you post something, people give the answer, and that's it. Or there's people self-promoting, like, hey, look at me, I'm traveling here, follow me on Instagram, whatever. Like what we do on School is the exact opposite. Like we are only about connection. So of course you can ask your question. Of course you can just, like, if you need help with something to build or whatever, you can ask feedback. And there's quite skilled people inside of the community, because for instance, one of my members, she was really struggling with her electricity, and another member hopped in and he said, like, I just built my whole van, and I can build you like a schedule, or like a scheme, I think it's
Hmm.
called, like for your electrics. And she had no experience with electricity whatsoever, and together with the guy, she built it herself.
Awesome.
So that is a very, yeah, it became a very supportive place basically.
That's one thing about the van lifers that I noticed, that a significant amount of people build out their own vans, or they get something that's older and they renovate and they upgrade and they put solar and lithium in so they can go off grid. It's unlike, you don't see a lot of people just buying like vans that are like made like camper vans and stuff that are like right off the showroom floor and ready to go. And I like that about it. I think it's a great way to not only get into it at a lower cost point, but it's also a great way to just learn how to be self-sustainable. And like once you've built out your van, like now you know it from, the front to back, top to bottom. And so when something goes wrong, you're not like trying to find a van life electrician to come fix your stuff, or a plumber or something that doesn't really deal with these types of plumbing systems, right? You can figure this out on your own. And so being self-sufficient is, I think, a really key part of living in a van and traveling like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, there's kind of two people living in a van. Some will want to.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this episode useful, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. You can hear all the full episodes of Digital Nomad Nation wherever you listen to podcasts. Drop your key takeaway in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, you're only one bold decision away from a life full of freedom.